Vamos a empezar, cuidado.
Where are you from?
I'm from France.
In 3 words, can you describe France?
Wow. Lots of rules.
Lots of rules?
Yes.
What are 2 other things that you think of when you think of back home?
I grew up there, so I as a teenager I was not really well in my shoes, so I feel kind of all the problems we have with teenagers, like not sure of yourself, insecure, stuff like that. For France is not. I like it now when I go on vacation, but it always, I feel that kind of weight every time I come back. Kind of the way you feel small. Makes me feel small.
What does it mean to you to have French citizenship?
It's important. I guess it's part of my culture. I'm proud of my country. I just don't fit in.
Besides Panama, have you traveled to other foreign countries before?
Yeah. I've lived in the States, in Georgia for quite 7 years, I think. Close to 7 years. I graduated at Georgia Tech. I started working in Georgia as a waiter, stuff like that, when I was a student. And then I opened my own business inside Georgia Tech. I opened a crepe shop. And
a what shop?
A crepe shop.
A crepe shop.
French crepes,
Oh, okay.
Like in Georgia, they always told me that my pancake looked a bit thin.
Yeah, they have a crazy diet there. How do you think you live different here than the way people are living in completely industrialized countries?
Well, before I moved here, I already had a kind of a part of my life where I disconnected a little bit, living on a sailboat for 5 years.
A sailboat.
And a sailboat, so that time, and then I had to pick a country where to live and raise my children, which they were a big part of the decision to move to Panama. I think I was running away from the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling. The glass ceiling, like in developed countries, you always feel like there is a limit to what you can do, a limit to what you can do, what you're allowed to do, not allowed to do. I feel more pressure. Would it be in the States, or would it be studies? People judge you on a lot of issues, race, sex, level of education, and everything seems so hard. Every goal seems hard to obtain.
Okay.
And I don't have that feeling here.
Here, that doesn't exist.
Well, I don't know if it exists. It probably does. It probably does. Like I imagine in that little village where we are now, Canas, probably some people in the village must have that same feeling that I have when I'm in France. I do not have it.
What's your impression of success?
My impression of success is being happy.
Being happy?
Being happy.
Do you think trees are important, and if so, why?
Definitely important. Trees were there way before we were there. Oxygen, shadow, freshness, especially in Panama. I mean, you can't live without a tree to hide from the sun. Trees are essential. Like in what I'm doing, the first thing I do when I buy a piece of land is plant trees. I've been walking and planting trees a lot, and I still do. Essential.
What comes to mind when I say the word water?
water. Essential need here. We lack water. We have trouble during the dry season, so it makes you realize how precious it is, how hard it is to get, since we need to do everything on our own, like wells, sinks, purification. We get to learn a lot about it, and it helps you realize that it's a precious good, and that it is costly to get, costly to process, essential, and that we need to protect it.
Do you feel that people back in France have the same appreciation of water as you?
No, I do not believe so. I do not believe so because people in Europe, they just open their tap water and run water starts appearing. It's kind of, they don't even think about it twice, I think. I mean, we have to do campaign for them to shut their tap or things like that. So I don't think they have the same, they don't have the same look at it. Look at France. France is one of the countries that kind of invented the bottled water, or if we're not, we definitely make a lot of money out of it, with Evian, Volvic, Perrier, name them. I think they have a really different view on water.
Do you cook much?
Yes, I love cooking. I love cooking, I don't cook much. Sorry. I like cooking, I don't cook much. Anita does the cooking every day. I cook when friends are over.
Have you ever grown any food?
Yes, it's not an easy task. Not really good at it. I've got a green hand for trees, fruit trees, things like that, but when it comes to vegetables, I know it's tough. Especially here in Panama, not using pesticide and things like that. It's definitely a big fit.
Is that pretty common back in France for people to have gardens and whatnot?
Well, it depends where you live in France. In Paris, definitely uncommon, even though there is a kind of a trend right now. They reuse a lot of parks and areas to, like there is an area where there used to be an old train track going all around Paris called La Petite Ceinture. And that area has been vegetalized on both sides, and people did gardens and planting. And you pretty much every arrondissement of Paris, you've got some kind of project of that kind, where people can come. I think it's a nice way to get your head out of traffic and get in your little green area. And in addition, you can get your own food on your table, which must be nice. Not sure it's really efficient in terms of producing, but it's probably really healthy for your mind, I mean.
What's your definition of survival?
Survival. Survival, I don't know.
There's no right answer.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's a guy in a trench that tried to survive war or survive. I don't know. Survive. Why would we survive? I mean, you have to have a really tough circumstances to be in a survival mode. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in one of those modes. I'm not doing survival. I'm doing enjoying life.
Do you think spending time in nature holds any value?
I can tell you, yeah. So it's really. I think it builds the spirit. Nature don't judge. Nature don't. Nature is what it is, and it can be fantastic. It can be tough, and it allows you to judge yourself and measure yourself. See how, like when I was at sea for those 5 years, nature gave me incredible moments, inolvidable moments, and also the really tough one like storms or difficult situation where you can dig deep inside of you, and in both directions, either in happiness, great moment of happiness, great moment of difficulty, where it allows you to know what you're able to and feel more secure after, I guess. Builds this character.
It builds the character.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you're living sustainably?
I try to. I don't make it my focal point because I do not believe I live in a certain way where I can't really see myself as being really damaging to the nature around me. And I guess I'm of that generation where we start changing the way we think, and we are respectful of that. I don't consume. I'm not a consumer. I consume pretty basic products for food. I consume little, so I don't think my impact is enormous. I don't have to, if I fish, but I fish for what I eat. I do organize tour where we live at a fishing, but I'm concerned about us doing catch and release as much as we can, and I do other things that help. So I feel like, yeah.
Do you feel like you use less here than when you lived back?
Oh, definitely less. I mean, there is no way here to. I mean, just to go to a supermarket, I have to do an hour driving. So to a decent supermarket, what an American or a French guy would call a comparable supermarket to what they have to have the comparable shopping experience, we'll say. Or you have to go to Panama City, so there is no opportunity to consume.
What do you feel a city offers you?
Nothing. That's easy. Most city will give me. I mean, they don't offer me anything. It's like they used to. Like 20 years ago, if you wanted to go to a movie, you had to go to the city. Today, you have everything in your computer, your phone. I don't think there's only inconvenient traffic, too many people. Tend to have a bigger density of people I don't care for in cities and in the countryside. It still is, but less.
When you hear the word money, what thoughts come to mind?
Money. A way to trade goods and stuff. Could be I mean, money. Lack of money has gave me trouble at some time. So, but I think if you start running after it, then things clear themselves up on their own. Like money is sometimes like if you don't live in the city. Money is not that big of an issue. You don't have everybody running. I think we tend to behave like our neighbor. So if we live we're kind of like ants. If we live in a place where everybody center of attention is money and buying power, then you can't stay away from it. I mean, if you escape the city, if you escape the lifestyle, then it just becomes what it is. It's just a way to trade goods, and that's it.
What's missing, if anything, from the modern world?
Here in Panama, you mean?
Like, just it's 2017, there's all this technology, life is much different than it was 50, 100, 500 years ago.
I think it's full of opportunities. I think it's full of opportunities. I like all that new technology, especially in communication and redes social and.
But do you feel like with
that helps you to be in touch and information to to circulate. I think more people can make a difference. It gives power to people in some ways.
But do you think there's anything missing?
Out of it?
Like from how it is today?
Compared to before?
Just
yeah, I would say values. Sometimes I think it's hard when you have so much information at hand. It makes sometimes education and the basic things about education are it's hard to keep track of it. Respect, basic things like that, because you get flooded by information. Sometimes all of them are not being so respectful with this, and so it makes it harder as a parent to do the job of educating your kids, because they're confronted with this a lot, and with all that information. I would say that's the only down point, because there's a lot of good points, I think, a lot of it. And I can see, like you can see, like it empowers people. And it empowers people, and you can see with countries that have difficulty, like Venezuela right now, I think it really plays a big role, and it helps people. It takes away the possibility for a few to step on people. I think the technology makes it harder for them, and I think that's a good thing.
Do you believe less is more?
Yeah, and I think Anita has helped me to understand that. Anita's working behind. She's a master of less is more.
Do you think consciousness takes a role in happiness, or is ignorance truly bliss?
Wow, that's a good one. Can you repeat the question?
Do you think consciousness takes a role in happiness, or is ignorance truly
Yeah, constant.
And there's no right answer.
Yeah, no, there's no right answer. I think if you're not educated, I think life is well done, because if you're not educated, it's a bless. Okay? It's a blessing if you're stuck in a situation where you're poor and you're in living conditions that are poor, and you're not aware of it. So it helps you being happy. And I think if you're well educated, you're empowered. You're empowered in some ways, and it's a bit sad to see, like in countries like there's two sides of it. Like the States, people super well educated, and people are running after education, and it becomes a whole money deal. So much money into education, especially in the States. I think in Europe we have it, but not at those levels. Here in Panama, you can see people are lacking education a lot, and it is a big barrier for them, barrier for everything, and it takes a long time to change this kind of state of things. It takes a long time to train teacher, takes a long time to put in practice educational technique, and it takes a long time for people to grow up, 20 years. So.
Do you ever meditate?
Yes, I meditate when I free dive.
When you free dive?
That's my meditating time, yeah. Free diving, you're in the water, your head, you can't hear, or you hear, but it's really peaceful, and your mindset is set into something. Either you're going to see something, or either you're going to fish, and you're looking for something, and it allows you to really get away from everything else for a long time, and it's refreshing.
When I say the word time, what comes to mind?
In my case, I think about it a lot, because like lately I've been working a lot. Time is hard to manage when you're working. Creating time to spend with your family, with the people you love, doing things you love, sometimes can be tricky. And that's the way we measure time. So when you say time, I think I should make time. Make time to spend with them.
What do you think would make the world a better place?
I think we're going the right way, like a more open, like I think that information free way that we have is pushing us in the right direction. It's making cultural barrier falls, like people get closer to each other, people get more informed about things that happen in other countries, and they're more like the words frontiers. It helps the word frontier falls. Frontier. We feel more like one, like little by little, and I think that's going to help a lot. And that's going to help a lot to put us in the direction to solve the big problem we have, like pollution, like pollution politics, like one way of thinking, like we're homogenizing, is that the right word? Yeah. The way of thinking, because we're not all separated, like France and its French way, and the States and its state way, and China and Russia. And I think as those barrier falls, we have more chance of the people being worried about issues that are common to all of them, and oligarchy will have less opportunity to maneuver one group of people or another in one direction or another.
So definitely, like communicating.
Communicating is a big thing for me.
To make the world a better place.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's probably a lot of other issues. In my little way, I think that helps. I've seen like the change, like the last 15 years. We have much more in common with any tourists we meet now than we had 15 years ago. I mean, we know more about the way they live. We understand them better. They understand us better, just from our phone, all that information we see on our phone. I think it helps us understand other people. There's a lot of information that goes there that makes us feel like we're the same.
Yeah, you can understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
So much.
It was interesting. I was not expecting that. Really general.